Thank you. Good morning. So since Tamara brought it up, a story about how I got started in entrepreneurship, I'll give you a quick 30-second story how I got started. So I'm 13 years old. I'm in New York City. I'm a drummer in a rock band. That's the coolest thing you could do at 13 years old, to be a drummer in a rock band. You have no income, no revenue, probably no decent songs, but we're jamming out. So I was the youngest person in the band, and we had a 17-year-old guitarist. So his parents had a house in the backyard, and even a backyard in New York City. That's pretty freaking awesome, okay? Because there's no property around, there's no land. Every Halloween, he put a Halloween party on. So that one year, his parents were selling their house, so we couldn't have a party. So I'm thinking, there's gotta be a way to do it. So I get on the phone, yes, telephone, there's no internet back in this day. So I get on the phone and start calling every nightclub and venue throughout New York City. And I find this place called The Caves out in Staten Island. I go there, talk to the owner/manager, say, hey, I want to rent out your venue, put on this concert. It's like, sure, let's do it. 2 stages, all-day event, like 16 bands, made a profit, was successful. Now, to my advantage, at 13 years old, I looked like I was 22. So no one ever questioned how old I was and why I'm in an establishment that sells alcohol. So as long as I didn't abuse the privilege, no one ever questioned it. So we did it again, and we did it again. And after a year, I finally realized who that owner/manager was. His name was AJ Perro. He was a drummer for Twisted Sister. And that's kind of my first in business or the music industry. And then from there, 3 years later, I'm on tour with the Goo Goo Dolls. And I'm working with bands all up and down the East Coast. And that's how I got started into entrepreneurship and went from one business to the next and to the next and to the next. And now I mostly just invest and not so much start businesses. So that goes to UX Cowork. I started out with this as an investor, not as the actual entrepreneur or someone running the day-to-day operations. I don't want to be the guy running day-to-day operations. I've done that. It's exhausting, it's miserable, and it's not fun. But with co-working space is something that Fayetteville can really benefit from, something that Fayetteville needs. So the co-working space and myself together kind of matured from just investor to actually making this happen. It's not the most lucrative venture. There's minimal returns, and I won't take a dime from this for at least 2 years. So if you want to open one, go for it, but I'm telling you, it's not very lucrative. You're not going to make a very good profit off of it. So what exactly is co-working? If you're not really, well, way too far. If you're not familiar with what co-working is, coffee. The reason why we're here is for coffee. Well, one of the reasons. And that's how co-working got started. If you go to a Starbucks, you go to the coffee scene, you go downtown to Rude Awakening, you're going to see laptops open, tablets open, people working, people collaborating. That's co-working. That's how it started. People just got together in random places that have a Wi-Fi signal and started working together. And then those people are, well, you know what? A coffee shop isn't the best place for me. I need to make a phone call. I need to talk to people. I need to entertain a client. Well, I can't entertain a client here at a coffee shop. It doesn't look very professional. Or I need an address. I need a brick and mortar address for a downtown area in so-and-so city. And that's how co-working started. It's still a young concept. It's about probably 5 to 7 years old. Probably the oldest one's about 5 to 7 years. And the largest market share owner is WeWork, and they're in most cities. So why would you go to a co-working space besides the items that I listed already? Okay, if you work from home, you're an entrepreneur with a home office. You have the laundry going, you have the dishwasher, you have a kid. You don't get to meet anybody at home. All these things are distractions that get in the way from you actually conducting your business. I have a home office. I'm fully aware of all these distractions. I also have a brick and mortar office, which I like to escape to when there's laundry piling up or the dishes have to get done. Or I want to network with people, or I want to have a location where I can entertain a client or introduce myself to a prospect. All those attributes really add up into the value of how a co-working space can benefit each person. Now, co-working isn't new to North Carolina, but it is new to Fayetteville. So there's several co-working spaces. I think 10 is the last count in the Raleigh area. There's HQ Raleigh. There's one in Fuquay Varina. There's Bull City Co-work in Durham. There's American Underground. That's a small chain. Even Pembroke has one. UNCP recently launched an incubator. Now, it hasn't officially launched yet. It has some logistical issues, but they have the grand opening ceremony, and it's coming. So if a town as small as Pembroke can have a co-working space, and hopefully it'll be profitable and successful, then Fayetteville can do it too. Holly Springs, as of last week, announced that they have a co-working space coming to their town as well. So here are some photos of what co-working spaces look like. The average age of a co-working space building is approximately 70 years old. So they're not new buildings, they're old. They have exposed brick, hardwood floors. They have a very rustic or contemporary feel to it. Most of them are in downtown areas. Here's a few pictures of what our space looks like. Now, the lease isn't signed yet. We're on version 9 of the letter of intent. So we're going back and negotiating with the landlord to get the exact terms in. just because it's a very high-risk venture. The photo you're looking at is one of the open co-working bays. So there's several rooms in here. As you see in the back of the photo, there's 2 offices. There's actually 3 offices total. The other one's on the other side of the wall. So this would be one of the open co-working bays, and there'll be a TV on this wall and a couch, a couple of desks, and some beanbag chairs. Here's a picture from the same room just further back, and you're going to have the lounge area. There'll be a ping pong table, very large Connect 4 game. People can break and entertain themselves. And directly behind where I'm standing is a glassed-in conference room. And this is the back room. It's the final picture I'm going to show, but it's not the last room. So this is the back room. This is going to be the permanent desks. Permanent desks, so you can have several options. You can come in and you can open co-work. You can sit on any open seat you want, work, chat, do whatever you need to do. Or you can be a member with a permanent desk. You can have a permanent desk in this room, and you have that desk 24/7, as anytime you want to use it. That is your desk. And you can bring a client in, you can bring a guest in, a prospect, network with them, talk to them. Here's some of the value add to a co-working space. 24/7 access. You don't have that at a coffee shop. Starbucks closes around 7 or 10 p.m. depending on the location. Coffee Scene isn't open all night. In fact, if you had to use a brick and mortar location at 24/7 access, it's rare to find unless you lease a private office for yourself. We're going to have 330 Wi-Fi, which is pretty good. And then part of the growth strategy is to get fiber in. Because it's a high-risk venture, it's high fixed costs, and the margins are not so good to start with, we're going to grow into fiber. But the plan is there to put in. I'll have print, copy, and scan services for everybody who's a member. Free coffee bar, yay, coffee. Conference room access. So as of right now, there's 3 conference rooms set up. There's a large conference room that can fit 30 to 50 people. There's a medium conference room for 7 to 9. And there's a small conference room for 3 to 5. And depending on your needs or the membership tier that you have, you'll have X amount of hours to use those conference rooms as needed. Again, like it's a permanent desk, you know, open co-work, private office. Private office is cool because these offices can fit up to 6 people in there. Well, if you really want to get close with your coworkers, you can probably fit 9 if you really wanted to. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can. There's always room for one more. So the private offices are really good because you're not going to find that value add from another service provider in town that will lease you an office in a building, and you're not going to have that chance to collaborate with others. One of the other great aspects is the workshops and events that happen at a co-working space. For example, something like this. We wouldn't exactly maybe have 1 million cups because it's already here at Fayetteville Tech, but we have other events going on, other workshops. So if you want to learn about business, web design, Ruby on the Rails, whatever it may be about, or you want to pitch to an investor, you know, we'll have those events for you, and that brings people to the space. And of course, we're going to have a resident strategist. That may or not be me, depending on how much actual day-to-day involvement I want to have in that. But we'll have somebody there to assist every member of the co-working space with their own ventures. Lastly, one of the things on here is the mailbox and the address, which is key. So if you have a home office, you know sometimes you don't want to give out your address to a prospective client or a third-party vendor. Having that downtown address is key because you're going to have mail, and we'll hold it for you. And when you want to come in, whether it's today, tomorrow, or next month, as long as you remember, your mail's there for pickup. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what we need and what we don't need. All right, what we need is electronic word of mouth, regular word of mouth. Okay, talk to people, let them know. One of the biggest problems about co-working spaces in Fayetteville is that nobody knows what a co-working space is. Co-working, oh, that's cool. What is that? I have no idea. So the analogy is, thanks to Hannah, it's a gym membership for an office. So you just pay by monthly, and you come in and go and use it as you need. That's probably the coolest, easiest, simplest analogy you can use for a co-working space.
Complicate things.
So share that with people you know. We need members and partners. And I say partners, I'm not looking for someone to be day-to-day operations of the partners, but other organizations. Fayetteville Tech, 1 Million Cups, Toastmasters. If you have an organization that has people, you do events and groups, you know, we want to be the hub for Fayetteville to enhance entrepreneurship and obviously grow into an incubator. So, working with other people in the community is key. And that transitions right into what we don't want. We don't want gatekeepers and procrastinators. Fayetteville has enough of that, okay? I am more than willing to talk to anybody here or anybody you know about business, about the co-working space, and making stuff happen. But you got to get on the phone with me. That's my one rule. Get on the phone with me, and I'll talk to you for as long as you want. So, I think it's about 6 minutes. Feel free to contact me at any time. I've got my phone number up here, my email address. You can get me on any social media network at Barbera USA, and then at XUS Cowork is live on Twitter, but it's inactive. There's nothing on the site. We just own the name. And with that, I'd be more than happy to answer questions and open a dialogue.
What can we do? So if I talk to someone today who says, man, I could really use an off-site office or something, how, do I just give them your number? What is the best way?
Give them my phone number or email address and have them contact me. I'd be more than happy to talk to them. So here's some of the things that we want to know. What are the top 3 things that coworkers in Fayetteville are going to benefit from? Because we want to add those to the value add. Because we can open the coolest, greatest space there is in Fayetteville, but if we don't offer what you need, it's never going to succeed, and it's not going to work out. And part of that, today from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Sweet Palette downtown, we're doing a focus group to get information from members of populace of Fayetteville about what they would want from the co-working space.
3 to 5?
3 to 5, yes.
Do you have an idea of what you're going to be charging?
Yes. So, the current space right now that's in negotiation for is 219 Hay Street. That's directly above Piero's, the loft above Piero's. If that becomes a space, if that works out, since we're on version 9 of the LOI, if that works out, open co-working, tier 1, just 9 to 6 access would be $100 a month. Open co-working, tier 1 with 24-hour access is $150. Permanent desk, 24/7 access is $250 a month. And then private offices depends on how many employees you have or what other perks you want involved in that.
Would that be locked into a contract or an agreement, or are you just kind of doing it month to month?
There will be a terms of service, but it's month to month, so you can cancel at any time.
Okay.
So you had a question?
Do you have seed members that are already committed to being members?
Yes and no. So we don't have any money from potential members in hand. The only money is the money that's going into the business for myself. Once the lease is signed, the landing page will go up on the website, and we'll start accepting advanced memberships. And we will discount that by 20% for the first few months for anybody who signs up before we actually open.
What's the maximum? Is there like a level where it's just like it's too crowded, it's too many people?
Well, that's a good question. So the space is 4,400 square feet. I haven't had the fire marshal come in yet to actually tell me, hey, you can only have this amount of people in here. But so it's like a gym membership. You may use it, but you may never go. You may go once a month. You may go twice a week. We would probably need approximately 600 members before it gets too crowded in there. So that's a long ways away.
Okay.
And that wouldn't be 600 people sitting on your head. Generally speaking, we anticipate occupancy to be around 20 people to 60 people, depending on time of day, date, month, location. And we are enforcing a quiet policy, which means that your space and your workspace is sacrosanct. Bring as much loud techno, house, trance, whatnot, headphone music as you would like. And there will also be private, I think you mentioned it, conference space for phone calls and webinars and things like that, so it won't be just you talking to your computer out in the open.
Is there daycare?
Privacy. Daycare. There are several childcare options in the neighborhood. I have to, however, recommend FDCC, fantastic 5-star childcare right here. We just got here late, as always.
So it's good Hannah brought that up. So we've been testing decibel levels at the coffee shops, downstairs below us in Piero's, and in our own space as well. So the average decibel level for an office space is about 67 to 74 decibels. The decibel level in our space is approximately that's between 67 and 74. On a Friday or Saturday night when Piero's has their music blasting, it's about 77 to 79, so it's not too bad. I have a video of what it sounds like, and it sounds a lot worse than what it really is in person. But I'm also partially deaf, so I'll show how that works out. Now, we will have a code of conduct with, noise. Now, in the event that, it does go a little louder than normal because there's more people in there, we will have a private phone booth. So you can go in there, close the door, and have a conference call with you and whoever else on the other line.
How's the parking downtown?
So
Because every time I go to Piero's, it's like around and around and around.
that is an excellent question. So parking is a legitimate concern, especially for the business model. So here's how it works. So down on Hay Street, it's 2-hour parking, 2-hour limit. After 6 p.m., I think it's free all night, unlimited. And then on any of the side streets like Donaldson, any of the cross streets, it's going to be 3 hours during business hours. However, directly behind Piero's and UX Cowork, there's the parking garage, which is 50 cents per hour, $4 per day, or $50 per month. Now, we're also building into the model where we will coordinate with the city or the property manager for the parking garage, and with the permanent desk or the private office, we will secure you as many spots as you need.
Is there expiration time on the permanent co-working space, the permanent space, resident space we have here?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Is there a time limit that someone can have the permanent spaces? Like in incubators, they have a time frame of 2 years and you have to be out. Or is a co-working space, and you say you can have a permanent space, is there a time limit on
So we're not an incubator yet, and it'll be a few years before we get to that point, because we have to be profitable before we can be an incubator. So the permanent desk spot, you can have that as long as you want. And actually, that is the prime portion of the revenue model. That's what we want, that's tier 2. That's where our money comes from, is the permanent desks. So the more permanent desks we have, the better. And actually, there's another room that we're ready to expand to. So we're gonna start with 8 permanent desks, and if those fill up, if more people want to come in and purchase a permanent desk, we will order another desk and create another spot, another room for the additional desks. So you can have it as long as you want, it's month by month, you're not locked into a contract.
Are you organized yet? And when you are, is it going to be a for-profit concern or a non-profit?
It is a for-profit LLC. We filed with the state of North Carolina. We have not received back the article organization from the state, the Secretary of State yet. We also filed the name with the USPTO for trademark, and we also own the domain names and the social media URLs. So the branding is there, we're just in the motion.
How do you compare with the competition?
Well, I can't say there's no competition, because there's no direct competition, but there's plenty of substitutes and indirect competition, i.e. coffee shops. There's small groups throughout Fayetteville who meet up and do co-work and do makerspaces. And those are not only, I wouldn't consider them competition, because there's several co-working studies that show that whenever a town, or any kind of locale has more than one co-working space, it actually thrives and grows. They don't compete with one another, because it builds the community and becomes a hub. So the more co-working makerspaces that there are in the community, actually Fayetteville benefits, and so do the co-working spaces. To answer your question?
Yeah, you didn't mention any particular competition though.
Well, I mean, you have a makerspace you want to grow. Is that what you want to hear?
Exactly. Yeah.
Makerspace is like a gym membership for tech school, except if you're an engineer, entrepreneur, STEM researcher, whatever, whatnot, depends on your need for laboratory or welding space or whatever, whatnot, but it's similar to a co-working concept, but it's for makers, people who make things.
Yes.
Are you leasing this space or purchasing?
Leasing.
Okay, because I just wondered if I wanted a permanent desk and then you lost your lease. I mean, how long? I know you haven't even secured the lease yet, but it's,
So the lease is for 2 years, and we're working
Okay.
on a 60-day buyout option. So in case the business just completely fails, don't want to be stuck into that 2-year contract. So that's the safe spot. However, if you were to purchase into the co-working space as a member, it's month by month. So at the end of the month, with a 60-day buyout person, you'll have 60 days notice that we're closing the space.
that's not gonna happen. Just
No,
saying.
no, it's not gonna happen. Hope for the best, expect the worst.
So what is the selling point for the entrepreneur? What's the benefit of co-working space?
So there's several. The value add, it can be 24/7 access, the ability to network. It could be, if you're a private real estate agent and you work from your home, you need to meet with a client somewhere or a prospect that's not a coffee shop or not someone else's property. You need an address to have stuff mailed to build your business. You need a space to actually work from. Or you're growing your business, but you don't have enough capital yet to actually lease office space somewhere else, throughout Fayetteville. Or you need a space downtown that's affordable and has access to other collaborators, or you can network with other people. So if we were all co-working here right now and I said, wow, you know what? I need help with this space, which is what I'm doing here. I'm looking for assistance with making this happen in Fayetteville. I'm asking you, how can I make this grow? Tony, how can we collaborate between makerspace and co-working space? Candy, how can we build social media, word of mouth with this business? So this is what it is, collaborating with other people in your local community to not only grow your business, but help other people out and become a hub.
Did you mention cost in that? Because if you are paying a membership of $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than your own office.
It is, yes.
A big bonus for a business.
And we have a lot cooler furniture. We're getting super giant beanbag chairs. You can just fall asleep in there. Yes.
This is a very technical question, but what is the access? Is it like a fob?
That's a very good question. So, it's gonna be like, just like a gym. So if you're gonna, from the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's gonna be, the front door will be open, come in and out. Once you get up the stairs, you'll just scan your barcode, key card. That's it, just whoop, and you go right in. Now, if you have 24/7 access, there'll be another barcode reader on the door. So at 6 p.m. the door locks, and all you have to do is swipe your card if you have 24/7 access, and it will identify you as having 24/7 access, and you go right on upstairs.
What type of security is in place if it's a 24/7 environment, and so that, I mean, because lots of different people can have memberships and access to this?
That is correct. So, a couple different, we'll have security cameras. There'll be cameras focused on the entrance and the entryway, not so much on the coworkers, because a lot of coworkers worry about privacy of their intellectual property and then being watched while they're working. However, there will be lockers on the property. So if you purchase a permanent desk, you will have your dedicated locker, and you can lock up anything you want in that locker. If you don't have a permanent desk or an office to lock, if you're an open coworker, you can rent a locker for a small fee and then just put your own lock on it and lock up your stuff as needed. However, I don't remember the exact numbers, but they're in the 70s and 80%, where something like 78% of coworkers throughout the United States trust leaving their cell phone and their computer on their desk and walking away. And something like, actually that was like 80%. The one in the 70s-ish percent was they trust leaving their wallet, their keys, their computer, and their cell phone on their desk and walking away. Hannah?
I'll also say to that, there will be moderation, there will be people there, staff there to assist you. So it's not like a free-for-all, unregulated environment. It's, again, code of conduct, but also there will be other people on site who have dedicated time. Right?
Yes, thank you. Yes?
I guess my hand wasn't up high enough. Is, the floor that you are on, is it a 2-story or 3-story building?
It's a 2-story building.
And I know I've been up where you're talking about, because one of my coworkers had the whole upstairs to his apartment. You got a lot of steps to climb. Now, if I have a client it's not wheelchair access, it is not for anybody that's handicapped, and the stairs are not that wide to just go up. And if you're carrying things up and down, you will have a little challenge. I do know that. And I want to ask what your thought is, because some people don't realize you got some stairs to climb, and carrying stuff up and down will tire you out.
That is one of the threats to the business model, is that we are on a second floor and it's not ADA compliant. So the stairs are approximately 4.5 to 5 feet wide. They're pretty wide stairs, but still there's a lot of stairs. And if you have to carry any significant weight or any large bulky object up those stairs, it's going to be exhausting. The positive side is we already provide the furniture, so I'm the one doing the heavy lifting, bringing it up the stairs. If you do have a prospect or a client or a coworker that you need to bring upstairs that can't make it up the stairs, yes, that is a threat, and the business at that location probably isn't the best model for you. So just like with every business, we can't service everybody, but we can try our best to help everybody out.
And the barriers to putting in an elevator or things like that are, it's a historical building in a historical district, and there are definitely some logistical issues. That being said, we do have partnerships with a number of businesses in the downtown area we're happy to refer you to in terms of more quiet meeting space, although more public meeting space that is ADA compliant and accessible. Some is right on the same block.
I'll just say I'll congratulate you on the idea, because I've conducted a few workshops and things, and every year it's harder and harder to find somewhere to have it, be it a church or the paper room at the library. If the speaker is selling curriculum or anything, then the library wants a percentage of it, which I was shocked about. So I think it's really needed if you can just get the word out.
Thank you, but I can't take credit for the idea. People many, many years ago created this business model. I'm just replicating it for Fayetteville.
In that model, did they have a common marketing plan? How do they build them in the other cities? Have you found to be the most successful?
Partnerships and sponsorships are the way to go. To bring other groups and organizations to your facility is the structural model. outbound marketing is not gonna help you in Fayetteville. I can put all the radio ads and TV ads up if I want, it's just a waste of money, because if you don't understand what a co-working is no one will come. It's that message which is key in Fayetteville. So EWAM, which is very, very hard to achieve, is key to the business model through partnerships and sponsorships. Yes?
Any of your areas ADA compliant?
Once you get up the stairs, yes.
I mean, no, the other areas that you showed us, like Holly Springs, Pembroke and all.
Oh, you know, some are. HQ Raleigh is not, well, if you go through the back door, it might be. So some aspects of HQ Raleigh are and are not. American Underground, a few of them are. Holly Springs, I couldn't answer, I don't know the space. Bull City, yes, but there's still some areas within the co-work space that are not. All right, if there's no more questions, thank you. If you know anybody who would be interested in this, wants to work together, by all means, share my number. Have them blow up my phone. I'll be more than happy to answer
And like
calls.
we do ask this last question, what can the community do for you?
For me, nothing. For the space, tell people about it. You know, be interested, care. Here's what's important, care about your community. This is where Fayetteville acts. Care about Fayetteville, give a damn, and watch it grow.
Thank
you.
you.